Alright, so in today's session, we are going to see how to create a project in Jira. And before creating the projects, let's understand who will be creating the projects most probably in the Jira environment. Now we all know Jira is a project management tool, and in Jira a lot of people will be there, right? So let me quickly open the paint. And it's going to be the Jira software. So if there are 10,000 users in the Jira software, we cannot give all the 10,000 users the privileges to create the projects, right? If they started to create projects, the project size will go maybe 1 lakh, 2 lakh of projects. So we will not be giving the access or the rights to anyone to create the projects. So all the users cannot create the projects. They do not even have the rights to create the projects. And then if we go to the next level, so let me write down, users cannot create the projects. And if we go to a little step further above the users in each and every project, there will be the project leads or project admins, right? And even just imagine if the Jira software is having hundreds of projects. For each and every project, there will be a respective project lead, right? Now, if there are hundreds of project leads, we cannot give the privileges to the project leads as well in order to create the projects that they want. And if we give the privileges, definitely if each project lead creates maybe 5 to 10, the number of project size will go more than 2000 or 3000, right? It is not a good practice. So even the project leads or the project admins cannot create the projects in Jira. Now if they do not create, like mostly the users and project leads are all about 99% of the user base in the Jira software, then who can be creating the projects in Jira? Alright, so that is the time Jira admin comes into picture. Alright, so we are going to be the Jira admin. So if any project leads, maybe if they join to the Jira software newly, or maybe they are already working in the Jira software, or maybe if they want to create a new project for a new team members, or maybe for the same team members, for any reason, they will be raising the tickets, or maybe I can say the request for the Jira admins. So Jira admins will receive the tickets, they will go through the details of the tickets, and then the Jira admins will create the projects for them. And once the project has been created, Jira admin will make whoever raised the request as the project lead, so that they will be managing the projects. So if there are 10,000 users in the Jira software, and if there are only 10 Jira admins, only the 10 Jira admins will be able to create the projects in the Jira software, and that is the thing that you have to keep in mind. Alright, now when we get a request from anyone requesting for a new project, what are the details that they have to provide? So, navigating directly back to the Jira project, by seeing the steps one by one, we will be discussing what are the important factors that we have to consider when we are creating the project. So how we can create a project in Jira? Now imagine that we got a request from one of the user. Let me open the Word and let me start typing the request. Maybe we got a request from one of the project lead. Hi team, we would like to have a new project. Please find the details below. They have given the project name. Maybe just imagine marketing agency. We do not care about the name. Whatever the name that they give, we add it to it. And they have given the project key. Maybe MA. and then they have given the project lead as well. Maybe let me see the project lead name. I think Billy maybe. Alright, we have received these three details in one of the ticket. Now as a Jira admin, it is our job to create the project. Let's see whether these three details are enough to create the project, or do we have to get any new details. So let's go one by one. Now by clicking on the projects on the very home page, we can get one of the option called create a project. So let me click on create project. Alright, as soon as I click on create a project, it is asking me to choose one of the template. Most probably we will be getting three templates in the software development, which is Kanban, Scrum and bug tracking. 99.9% we will be making an use of either Scrum or Kanban in any organizations, because Jira follows agile methodologies. So in a while we are going to discuss about the difference between Scrum and Kanban. So for now, just forget about what exactly is Scrum and what exactly is Kanban. All you have to remember is that Scrum and Kanban follows agile methodologies. When I use the term agile methodology, I will be explaining what exactly is the agile methodology and what exactly is Scrum and Kanban and what's the difference between both of them. We will be discussing in very short. Alright, now while we are creating the project, we have to choose any one of the template, right? So directly we have to reach out to the customer or maybe to the person who raises the request, and then we have to ask them what kind of template that they would like to choose. Whether would you like to choose, or whether would you like to go for Scrum, or would you like to go for Kanban methodology. They will be giving any one method so that we will be creating or selecting the appropriate option. And even in very few scenarios, the customers might not know what exactly that they have to choose. If they are new to Jira, they might question back like, what is Scrum or what is Kanban? So as a Jira admin, we should be able to tell them the very basic differences between Scrum and Kanban so that they can choose their project. But 99.9% none of the users will ever ask the difference between Scrum and Kanban. So after we create the project, we will be talking about the difference between Scrum and Kanban. Now just imagine that the customer or the user who raised the ticket would like to go with the Kanban template. So in Jira, let me choose the Kanban template. Alright, now after I choose the Kanban template, it just giving me another option like use template. And before clicking on the use template, it have given some information like in which product that we are creating the project, and what are the issue types that we get if we choose this particular template, and what is the workflow that we get if we choose this template. So do not worry about the issue types in the workflow. Once we create the project, we will be spending some time, probably today or tomorrow, on what are the default issue types that we get when we create a project using Kanban or the Scrum template. And then we will be even discussing about what is a workflow and what exactly the namings that we are seeing and the terminology that we are going to use shortly. But for now, always remember that Jira offers 4 standard issue types and 1 subtask. And we are going to see what exactly is epic, what exactly is story, bug, a task, a subtask in a while when we are discussing about the issue types topic. And the same applicable to the workflow topic as well. And now we have selected the Kanban template. So let's use that Kanban template by clicking on use template button. Alright, now in the step number 1, we have choose Kanban template. And step number 2, it is asking the project type. Whether would you like to go for the team managed, or whether would you like to go for the company managed. Now in a while we will be seeing the difference between team managed and company managed. So let me make a note of that in the Excel sheet. Alright. And now we did not get this information from the customer. So directly if the customer do not provide the information, even we just ask them what type of project that you would like to go for. But almost in each and every organization, 99.9% people will be choosing the company managed projects. And in very few organizations which do not have much rules and which have lot of flexibility, they will be choosing the team managed. So after we create the project, even we will be discussing about what exactly the difference between a team managed and a company managed projects. For now, imagine that we have got a request from the customer to go for company managed. So let me click on select a company managed project. Totally we have chosen two different steps. One, we have choose Kanban template, and in step number 2 we have decided to go with company managed projects. And now we have to add the project details. And even once we add it, anytime we can even modify the project name in future in the project settings, and that is what exactly it is stating here. Now we got the information from the user or the customer who have raised the ticket. So going forward, I'm going to use the term user. User might be anyone. He might be the project lead, project admin, or any other role. So the project name is going to be marketing agency. I have taken the copy of the name and let me paste the name. As soon as I paste the name, automatically the keywords auto populated. If you are using a single word, it will be taking the first two letters as the project key. And if we are adding two different words, then automatically Jira will take the very first letter of each words and it will be taking as the project key. And the project key should be something which will be very easier for the team members to work. So it is always good to make an use of the easier project key when we are creating the project. Because if we are making an use of the marketing agency as the project name, and if I give some ABC here, the people who are working in that particular project will always get confused, right? So it is always recommended to make an use of the easier project keys. And even if we would like to edit it, we can do that. But since we are okay with MA, we can go for it. And always remember that the project key is unique. And once we make an use of the project key marketing agency like MA, we can never use the same project key to any other project in future. So whatever we are using now is limited only to this particular project. And now let me click on create project. A project has been created. So only steps that we need to create a project is that we want the project name, we want the project key, we want what kind of template that we are using for the project, and we want to know what type of project that we would like to have. And now once we create the project in Jira, since as a Jira administrator we are creating the project, so automatically we will be becoming the project lead for the project. But if we get the request from any user, they even clearly mention who should be the project lead for that particular project. And now where exactly that we are going to add the project lead in the Jira software. Alright, now once the project has been created, we have been landed on the project page and we do have lot of options. We spend some time in having a look at what are the different options that we get. But for now, let's update the project lead and then we talk about the rest in the later section. Alright, now once we enter into the project, we can scroll down a little bit and we can see one of the option called project settings. So in the project settings, we will be able to update the project lead name as well, and we can do a lot of changes in the project settings. the configuration changes that belongs to marketing agency software project. So for now, by clicking on the project settings, in the very first tab called details, we can see the project name, we can see the project key, and if we scroll down a little bit, we can see the project lead has been set to Jira admin 09 because we have created using the Jira admin profile, right? We are the Jira administrators. So by default, whoever created the project, their name will be listed. Now we want to update the project lead to a Billy. Now as soon as I started to type the name Billy or any other names, the names are not being populated. It is because it is a very new Jira instance and we do not have any users at the moment in the software. So if we have any user as a Jira admin, if we add any people into the Jira software, their names will be populated. So before performing this particular activity, let's quickly learn on how to add the people into the Jira software, and then we come back to the same page and then we make that particular person as the project lead. So I want to leave this page as it is and let me open some duplicate tab. So in the second tab, let me navigate to the Jira home page. Now our task is to add some people or invite some team members or friends into the Jira software so that we can make an use of their names anytime that they want. And if we click on the settings button, we can call it as an admin coggle. And the very first section is the user management, where we can add the users, groups, or even we can manage the access requests. And always remember, users will not be able to access to user management. The project leads or project admins, they cannot even see the user management option, and only the Jira admins will be able to see the user management. So out of 10,000 users, only 10 people will be in rough able to access the user management, and we are going to be one of them. So as a Jira admin, if we want to add any people into the Jira software, we can navigate to the user management, and it will be like a very friendly software, so anybody can directly add any people. Like it's like a very easy things. So let me click on next. Let me click on done. Alright. Now in the Jira cloud environment, we can directly enter the email address and we can add the team members. So what will happen is that the team members, whatever the email address that we have entered here, they will be getting the access request to their emails. If they accept, they will be the part of the Jira software. So what I want to do is, in the Excel sheet, in the second page, I have make a note of 2 different emails. So let me add these 2 different emails in the Jira software. Let me close the unnecessary tabs. Alright, I have entered one of the email address, and even I want to enter the second email address. And finally, even I want to add my name as well. Alright, so let me click on add team members. Alright, as the notification states, you have invited 3 users and we will take care of the rest, which means Jira will send the automatic emails to all the 3 members. We can see the status as invited, and if they accept the invite, the status will be changed to active. So what I want to do is, let me open any one of the email. Let me copy the email and let me go to incognito mode and let me go to Google, or maybe let me click on sign in. Let me quickly access this particular email. Alright, and then let me navigate to the Gmail. Okay, still we did not get the email from the Jira. Maybe it will take about 1 2 minutes or sometimes even 5 to 10 minutes of time. So let's wait, or maybe let's come back after 5 to 10 minutes of time and let's see whether we have received the invite or not. We definitely be receiving it from the Jira where we can accept, so we will become the part of the Jira software as well. For now, we clearly know that we have invited 3 people, so we can make a use of their names, I guess. So what I want to do is, in the details page, let me start typing the word D, and I can be able to pull up their names directly here. So if I want to make anyone as a project lead, I can enter their names. So their names will be populated and I can click on save details. So going forward, this particular person will become the project lead of the marketing agency. And this is how we can make a person as a project lead, and this is how we can create the projects in Jira. So if we directly click on projects and if we view all the projects, I clearly see for the EduSL project the project lead is Jira Admin09 since we did not change. And for marketing agency we can see the project lead has been updated to some DJ193698. All we have to know is what are the details that we would like to grab from the person who raises the request. And one more thing, you might get the doubt but you haven't asked me. Lot of times I have used the term, right? People will raise the request. We will be getting the tickets. Now we all might have a doubt where exactly that we will be getting the tickets. So always remember that it completely varies from organization to organization on where we can get the tickets. Maybe HCL might use one of the application called Zendesk application. Just give me one moment. As the ticketing tool. So they will be giving the complete knowledge transfer. Like we are using this particular ticket and here we will be getting the Jira tickets. All you have to open the ticket, you have to assign it on your name and then you have to work on the tickets. And few people, they will be working on Jira service management. So they will be telling us and here we will be getting the tickets. And maybe few organizations, they will be getting the tickets in another application called GitLab. And even few other organizations will directly make an use of Jira project to get the tickets. So do not worry about where you can get the tickets in your organization. It is all about a one-time activity. If you have a look at the ticketing tool or if you have a look at how the tickets are being received in your organization, it will be very easy. All you have to understand is that no matter where you see the ticket, are you able to understand the ticket and are you able to resolve it? In simple terms, we can say if we get the access request or maybe if we get a new project creation request, what are the different things that we have to ask as a Jira admin? If I get a ticket that is related to a new project creation, we have to make sure that are we getting all this information from the customer or not. If we do not get, we have to ask and then we have to create a project and then we can close the ticket directly. So it will be very easy once you have a look at where exactly that you are getting your tickets in your organizations once you step in into your job role. Alright, now it is the time for us to discuss about the difference between Kanban and the difference between Scrum. Let me go back to Jira. And before getting into Jira, I just want to make a note of the username. Oliver James and DJ stands for David John. Alright, let me close it. Alright, now let's see what exactly is the Kanban process. And once we talk about Kanban, and then we go to Scrum and let's see the differences between Scrum. Now we have created a project called a project template called Kanban, right? Let's navigate quickly to Jira. And we clearly know that marketing agency is a Kanban project. Now let me click on the marketing agency. And when I select, or maybe how we will be able to tell if the project is Kanban or Scrum. If I have a look maybe later after the project was created, if there are hundreds of projects, if I quickly open one of the project, how I can directly tell whether the project is Kanban or whether the project is Scrum. Now if I create a Kanban project, then definitely we will be able to see the name of the board, and I can see the name of the board is Kanban. And once the Kanban project has been created, we can see the board, and this is called a board. A board is nothing but, maybe if we are all, if all the people that belongs to the marketing agency is working in a single room, they can maintain a whiteboard, right, where they can have some sticky notes where each team person will be letting know what work that they are planning to do, and which work has been assigned to which person, and which person have started the work, and which person is in between the work, or maybe which person has been completed their work. So just like the whiteboard in the Jira software, there will be a Kanban board, and on the Kanban board we can see the backlog, selected for development, in progress, and done. These are the 4 statuses that we can see on the Kanban board. And now before talking about what is a backlog or selected for development, let's understand how the team structure will be and how the work will be received from the client, and how exactly the Kanban methodology in the Jira software works. Let me directly navigate to the paint. Alright, now forget about the Jira admin for a while. Jira admin do not involve in any of these activities. Jira admin job is to create the project. Jira admin job is to select the Kanban template. Jira admin job is to make someone as a project lead. Now if someone becomes a project lead, how exactly that they will be working in their Kanban projects is what exactly that we are going to see now. Alright, now imagine this is going to be the marketing agency project. And we clearly know it is the Kanban project, or maybe it is making a use of the Kanban agile methodology, or we can call it as anything. Just remember the term Kanban. Now once the project has been created, we have make one of the person as the project lead. So let's go and see who is the project lead of the marketing agency project. In the project settings, in the details tab, if we scroll down a little bit down, I can see DJ, which means David. Alright, so David is the project lead of the Kanban project. Now when there is a project lead in the project, then definitely there will be the project members, right? So imagine there are 10 different people in the project. I can say 10 users. They might be developers, they might be testers, they might be any other project role. Now what exactly the project lead or the 10 people will do in the project? Now for each and every project, there should be a client somewhere, right, who will be giving the work, so that they will be working on the work and they will be reporting the work back to the client or customers, the people who gives the work. Now always remember, in the Jira project there will be a project lead who leads the project. Maybe this person might have the technical knowledge of what's going in the project that are related to work, or maybe sometimes he will be the project lead with not much knowledge on the work that has been going. Now, if the project lead do not have much knowledge, who will be taking the work from the client? And that is where exactly a new role called Scrum Master comes into picture. So the term Scrum Master is very much important for any Jira admin to know if you get into organization. These are the terms that we hear most probably in the organizations. Always remember, probably in each and every project, just like how the project lead will be there, there is a person called Scrum Master as well. Now, who is the Scrum Master? He might not be the project lead, but he will be one of the admin of the project who have the complete technical skill and who is very good in all the works that's happening in the project. And Scrum Master is the person who takes the work from the customer. So what the Scrum Master will be doing? The Scrum Master will arrange one of the meeting with the customers or maybe with the stakeholders. We can call them anything. For now, I'm just using the word client. Maybe the client can be located in Singapore, US or Australia. Maybe the marketing agency. This particular project is in the Jira software, and this particular Jira software, imagine it belongs to one of the company in India. It might be Infosys or it might be Genpact. So from India, maybe from Genpact company, in the Jira software, in one of the project called marketing agency, there is a Scrum Master. So he will be reaching out to the appropriate client, and in the discussion between the client and Scrum Master, the clients will be giving the work to the Scrum Master. Like we want this set of work needs to be done, and these are the work that you have to do. So the Scrum Master, what he will be doing, he will be noting down all the work somewhere. It might be on the Excel, or it might be on Notepad, or it might be on emails, or even it might be in notebook, or even it might be any other software. All we have to know is that in the meeting that's happening between the client and the Scrum Master, who is the technical person, the client will tell, this is what we want from you. So the Scrum Master will make a note of all the works. And we clearly know in Jira, a work can be called as an issue. We can call the work as a work item. And whatever the work given by the client, we can call in Jira as an issue. Alright, now if the Scrum Master have taken the bunch of issues from the client, bunch of work items, a bunch of works from the client, what is the work of Scrum Master? We clearly know he's the technical person, and even he's one of the leading person in the marketing agency. So the Scrum Master will create an issue in the Jira software called marketing agency. So he will be creating all these issues in the project. If there are hundreds of issues, he will be creating all the hundreds of issues in the Jira project, and then he will be assigning the work to the 10 users. So all we have to remember is that in the Kanban project, just imagine the Scrum Master took the work and he started to create those works in the Jira. He might have noted the work in the Excel, he might have noted the work in the Notepad. All he will be doing is that he will be start typing the work as an issue in the Jira. Like on the create issue screen, he will be choosing the appropriate project, marketing agency, and then he will be choosing the appropriate issue type. We will be spending 1 hour of time on understanding how we can select the issue type. For now, all you have to understand is that it's going to be one of the tasks. Maybe create documentation on how the marketing works, and this is what the client wants to know from the team that's working in India. So the Scrum Master have created the work, and if we want to populate, or maybe if we want to explain any details, he will be explaining everything in the description, and then he will be creating the work in the Jira. So as we can see, one of the issue has been created in the marketing agency project. Now let me click on back to project. It will take us to the home page. Now as we can see, whatever the work that is being created in the marketing agency project in the Kanban template, automatically that work is going to be and falling in the backlog column in the Kanban board. Now if we create hundreds of works, all the hundreds of issues will be stored in the backlog. Let me come back to the paint. So whatever the work items that have been noted and created in Jira, it will be going and stored in the place called backlog. And the backlog in the Kanban will be displayed on the board as the very first column. So now you might get the doubt of what exactly the word or term backlog means. Backlog is nothing but, now we clearly know, right? If we want to assign the work to 10 users, we cannot assign all the hundreds of works, all 500 works at a time to 10 users. What we can do, we can store all the given work by the client in one particular place, and from that particular place we can take few works and we will be assigning it to the users. So we can call the backlog as a go down. Maybe if we have maybe 25, or maybe if we have 100 kgs of rice, we cannot eat all 100 kgs of rice, right, as a family. We will be storing the rice in one of the go down, so that we can take only 25 kgs at a time. Then we spend maybe 1 or 2 months of time, and then again we take the second package, again we take the third package on timely basis. Until that, whatever the material that we have, we can keep it in one particular storage or one particular go down, or in Jira we can call it as a backlog. So whatever the bunch of work that we get, the Scrum Master will place it, will create the issues, so that issues will directly go and store in the backlog. And from the backlog, what will happen is that, let me directly navigate back to Jira, and let me quickly create some 5 to 10 issues in the marketing agency project. Again, I have clicked on create button, and I have chosen the project called marketing agency. I have chosen the type of work as task, and let me enter some details in the summary. And always remember, these are the things can be done by the people in the project. It is not by Jira admin, but we should know what's happening in the Jira software, right? So that is the reason I'm explaining all these things to you. And I just gave the summary as issue number 2. Imagine that one of the work has been created. It will be going and stored in the backlog. The same way, I want to create issue number 3. Let me click on create. Issue 3 has been stored in the backlog. And in the same way, let me choose or create an issue number 4, as well as issue number 5. Alright, in the same way, the Scrum Master will create all the issues that has been received from the client. Now once the issue has been received, it will be stored in the backlog, or it will be stored in the go down, or it will be stored in the storage room. Now what the Scrum Master will be doing? As we can see, there are 4 different columns. We can call it as statuses. So from the backlog, he will be moving one of the work to selected for development. So in this particular stage, the Scrum Master will assign the work to the team members. So when he click on the issue has been opened. I can see what is the heading of the issue. If there is any description explanation, he will be mentioning that. If any attachments that he want to attach as the reference in order to reference the work, he will be attaching it. And then as we can see, the reporter name is, a reporter is nothing but the owner of the issue, whoever creates the issue. If the Scrum Master creates the issue, his name will be displayed in the reporter. What the Scrum Master will do, he will be assigning this particular work to one of his team members. Maybe imagine Cecile is a team member, so he will be assigning the work to Cecile, and then he will be closing the issue. As we can see, in the selected for development, we can see one of the issue has been assigned to Cecil. The same way, out of all the backlog 5 issues, the remaining 4, he will be picking one of the other issue which is on priority basis. He will be opening the issue and he will be assigning the issue to another team member called Oliver, and then he will be closing the issue. So what exactly will happen is that once the issue has been assigned to Cecil's name, Cecil will be started to work on this particular work item. So initially it will be in the selected for development state. So Cecil will log in into his Jira. He will be getting notified, and as soon as he's seen the issue, he will be started to work on it. So from the selected to development, Cecil will be moving the issue from selected for development to in progress. And inside the work, he will be adding the comments on what work he have done. So as soon as Cecil move the issue from selected to development to in progress, what the Scrum Master will do is that he will be picking one of the issue and he will be moving from the backlog to the selected for development, and he will be assigning the issue to Cecil's name again. So all you have to remember is that whenever one issue has been moved from one status to another status, the Scrum Master will be automatically assign the issue to the person to the before status. All you have to remember is that in the Kanban, the workflow is continuous. If Cecil completed one of his work item, Cecil will clearly know that there is one more work in his selected for development state, so that he will open, he will review what work has given to him, then he will be moving it to in progress. Again, the Scrum Master will pick one of the issue from the backlog and he will move it to selected for development, and he will assign it to Cecil's name. As soon as Cecil completed his next work item, he will be picking the other work and he will be moving it to in progress, and then he will be working on it. And the same thing will be applicable for each and every team member in the Kanban. So all you have to understand when we are talking about the Kanban is that people in the Kanban will be working based upon the prioritization. So the term prioritization is very much important. And this is one of the important point. Now if there are hundreds of work, the first 10 priorities will be picked by the Scrum Master. He will be assigning it to the team members. And the second important thing that you have to know about the Kanban, it is completely unplanned. In the Kanban project, if the client is not sure when the new work comes in, if the client have no idea what kind of work that he will be getting in future, so that we can call it as unplanned. They never know when the new work will comes into. They simply will give hundreds of work and they will come any time in between and they will say we want this particular set of issues to be our priority. So Kanban is unplanned, and Kanban project issues will be worked based upon prioritization. And one important thing, the Kanban workflow is the flow of work is continuous. And the four more important point is there will be no active sprints. And this terminology might be new to you, but once we have gone through the process or the methodology, how the Scrum Agile methodology follows, we will be understanding what exactly that I meant when I say there is no active sprints in the Kanban. For now, all you have to understand is that people in the Kanban will be working based upon prioritization. And the work that is being come from the client in the Kanban is completely unplanned. Nobody knows what work needs to be done at what time. It's completely done based upon prioritization. And in the Kanban, the workflow is continuous. As soon as one work has been completed by the user, the other work will be given to that user. So the workflow is continuous. There will be no time span like 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. As many years as you work in the Kanban, your workflow will be completely continuous. If you take 1 week of time to complete one work, the very next day you will be getting the next work. If you spend 20 minutes to complete one work, the very next moment you will be getting the other work. So the workflow in the Kanban is continuous. So these are the 4 important points that you have to make a note when it comes to Kanban. So for that reason, it is very much important for us to go through the agile methodologies. Let's quickly get into the email which I have opened for Oliver. As I can see, we have received the access request from the Jira admin 09 because we have invited the Oliver to join in the Jira software, right? As I can see, I have received it. So let me open the email. Okay, it is something that I have received an email, but still I haven't accepted it. And even after that, we have received one of the email where the issue has been assigned on Oliver name. And it has been assigned by Jira admin 09. And I can see the issue number as MA-4, and I can see it has been moved from selected to development and from unassigned to Oliver's name. We can directly even get notified in the emails. Coming back to inbox, and this is the main initial email that we have sent. From Atlassian, we have got one of the email. Your team is waiting for you to join them. So by clicking on this particular email, I clearly see it is the Jira software from Jira Add Yourself 09, and they have invited me to join in the Jira software, Jira Add Yourself 09.atlassian.net. So if I click on join the team, I can enter the full name and I can create the password and then I can sign in. So let me enter the term Oliver and let me see the full name here. Just give me one moment. James. And let me quickly create the password. And let me sign up. And let me choose the traffic lights from here and let me click on verify. Alright, Oliver is trying to log in and it is the very first time. So even Oliver will get the same sort of questions or the feedback that the Atlassian will experience at the very first time. So either we can choose any of the options or maybe we can click on skip question. Anything would be fine. So let me quickly click on skip questions. Let me click on skip. Alright, now I have logged in as Oliver. So I want to keep the page as it is. And let me minimize this particular tab. And let me go back to Jira Add Yourself 09, which is the main admin. So let me quickly go to user management. And let me scroll down a little bit. And let me click on reload. Alright, it is taking a little bit of time since it is the test environment. We have to make sure that Oliver James, the status should be turned to active because she have accepted the request and now she is a part of Jira software. Maybe in tomorrow's session we come back to the same page and we make sure that it becomes active. And I think the time is 7:27. And if I have to talk about the second agile methodology, which is Scrum, then definitely it would be take 20 to 30 minutes of time because even the Scrum agile methodology is very much important. And once we talk about the Scrum, we have to differentiate between Scrum and Kanban. So for today, I want to complete or maybe I want to close the session by taking the Kanban methodology. So I quickly would like to make a note of all these 4 points in the Excel, and then in next session we will be discussing about the Scrum methodology. So team will be working based upon the prioritization. And then second one, Kanban is unplanned. And the third one, the flow of work is continuous. And the very fourth point is there will be no active sprints. Alright, so we will be comparing this particular point when we are discussing about the Scrum in tomorrow's session, so that the word active sprint will make a sense. Alright, so in the marketing agency, what we have done, we have clicked on create and we have created the issues, right? We have created issue 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now as soon as I created the issue, what will happen? It will go and it will fall on the backlog column on the Kanban board. And apart from the board, even we will be able to see the issues. In future, I can completely take these issues and I can release them so that they will be no longer available on the board. But if I want to see what are all the issues that are created in the marketing agency, what is the place that we can see? So in today's session, even we are going to see about a tab called issues. It is only 1 or 2 minutes activity. By clicking on issues, we clearly see what are all the issues that has been created in the marketing agency. We can see the type of issue, which is task. We can see the summary. We can see who is the assignee, who is the person who's working on what issue, Oliver, James, Cecil, and these two issues are not yet assigned. And we clearly see who have created the issue, the reporter name. And then we can see the status, in which column of the board or maybe in which status the particular issue has been light. By seeing the status, we can clearly tell that these two issues which are in the backlog are not yet assigned to any particular person so far. And there are two issues that are completed in the project. There is one issue which is currently in selected for development and was not yet started by Oliver James. So when we have these kind of flexibility in the Jira software, even though if there are 10 people, each and every person in the team will know what exactly the remaining 9 people are doing, what kind of works people are doing and what is the status of each work. So even the project lead or the Scrum Master, they no need to reach out each person individually and ask about have you started your work or not, have you completed your work or not. Everything can be seen in a very much transparency. So Jira is very much easy for any team members to work on. And the most important thing that I want to convey for today's session, and I want to close the session, is once we have created the issue, how we can identify the issue if I want to pull one issue. As we can see the term key, it is nothing but an issue key. And what exactly an issue key means in Jira? Always remember, for each and every issue that has been created in Jira will have its own unique issue key. So each and every issue key is unique. So how the issue key will be defined? As I can see, we have created 5 issues. I can see MA-1, MA-2, 3, 4 and 5. So always remember, when we are talking about the issue key, the very first 2 letters or 3 letters or 4 letters, whatever the thing that we are seeing before hyphen, it's going to be the project key. We clearly know while we are creating the project called marketing agency, we have defined the project key as MA, right? So we can see the project key for each issue. So by having a look at the issue key, we can even imagine that this particular issue belongs to the project marketing agency. And then after hyphen, the number that we see is the sequence. How many issues that we are creating in the project. As soon as I create a new issue, it will be going in the sequence. So as I can see, totally we have created 5 issues. So in organizations we can see MA-1020, MA-2032 or something like that if the project is having thousands of issues. And this is how we can understand the issue key.